Joe Adams here, U.S. immigration lawyer based in Los Angeles. Today we're going to meet Mandeep Singh. Originally from India, Mandeep is in charge of some of the most important things that you probably never think of. How do you get your toilet paper? How do you get your groceries? How do you get your furniture? He engineers the supply chains that make 21st century life livable. So let's go meet Mandeep Singh. Mandeep, thank you so much for joining us today. You have one of the most unusual job titles of anyone that I've worked with. And it took me a while to wrap my head around what is a supply chain engineer and what does that matter? So could you maybe explain to the audience, what is a supply chain engineer and why should I care about what a supply chain engineer is?
Yeah, thank you very much, Joseph. First of all, it's my honor to be a part of this conversation. Well, first of all, supply chain and logistics is something which is used in a day-to-day life of ours. For example, if you order a product from Amazon, you have to make sure that the product is in stock, you are getting the best pricing, at the same time you're getting it cheaper logistics-wise, and you're getting it within a span of like 24 hours, 48 hours. So whatever happens behind the scene when you place an order, this is all related to supply chain and logistics. And this is very important. That's why we do it. In the recent past, we have seen situations where there was COVID, and in that point of time, there were shortages in supermarkets. So that was all related to the supply chain.
So if I want to order a new computer or a water bottle or paper towels, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that you're involved in, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So how did you get involved in this career? In my mind, it's kind of an unusual career track. Is this something that you came up across in college and in graduate school, or how did you get involved in this line of work?
Yeah, so when I started my journey, I was in the purchasing department for a construction company in India. At that point of time, back in 2007 and 8, supply chain was not the center of attraction. Companies in India were not even aware what the word supply chain is, even though they had a purchasing department. From there on, I went to UK, London, to do my MBA. And that's where I saw the opportunity of how supply chain is going to look like in the future. And then I came back to US, did my master's in supply chain logistics. And from there on, I'm like hardcore into supply chain. So I was driven, from my first job, which I did as a purchaser in a construction company.
Was when you came to the US on your student visa, was that the first time you'd ever come to the US, or had you ever come to the US as a tourist or as a temporary visitor?
So that was the first time I came to US actually on F1. Before that, I was in UK.
So you decided to go to school in the US on an F1 student visa, and you never even had been to the US before.
No, because it was. I mean, back in India, it's a big dream for a student to pursue their education from US, just because of the kind of universities are there, and that was one of my dreams as well. So that's why I came to US.
And you and I had met at some point along the way, and you decided, hey, this is working for me, and I want to make the US my home on a permanent basis and become a green card holder, and perhaps down the road, maybe even a citizen. What was going through your mind when you were making that decision that you wanted to make the US your home on a permanent basis and get your green card?
Yeah, I mean, when I came to US, I had a plan of staying in US for some time and get some experience and get a global experience, especially. Uh, and especially with supply chain, you need to have the global understanding expertise. Um, so when I came over, I saw the opportunity and I saw how geopolitically as well, India and US are both very interconnected. How US is also looking forward to connect with India on a global trade as well. So I just wanted to take that expertise to reach to that level where I can actually bridge both the countries together and come up with some kind of proposition as well. And that's where, when I joined my company, I saw the logistics side of things, supply chain side of things, how crazy they were, and somehow was able to found my own company via Indigos, which obviously is a contract manufacturing company. So that's I mean, for me, it was very, very crucial to stay in this country and basically understand the trade of US. I already understand the trade of India just because I was born and brought up there. So this was very crucial for me.
So in a few words, maybe describe what your company Via Indigos does, who they work with and who you work with, and how you go about doing your job, so that people can get a better sense of what it
Sure.
do.
So Via Indigos, now I always say, imagine a world where you would like to connect with the Indian manufacturers and don't need to get any hassles of delaying your material, no visibilities. That's where Via Indigos come into picture. We are a contract manufacturing company who will going to assist the US businesses and later on the European companies as well to connect with the Indian manufacturers, the top tier manufacturers, and get their products on time without any hassles because it's Via Indigo's responsibility. Yes, we are a startup. However, we have the tons of experience, expertise because we have been into this profession from the last 15 years, and we are doing a lot of countermeasures. We are putting a lot of countermeasures. We have failed a lot of times as well, so we know what needs to be done in order to get the product on time with the best lead times as well as the cost.
You're more of a B2B business rather than direct
Yes,
to consumer. So me as a
yes.
consumer would not hire Via Indigos, but perhaps if I owned, say, a retail store that was looking to import Indian made goods, then I might hire Via Indigos to help me with that supply chain.
Yes, we are directly going to benefit the B2B companies. However, the B2C, the customers who buy from that specific company in US now will be getting a cheaper product because they have basically not paying any tariff. Now they're buying from India, which means a less expensive product. So they can offer the cheaper product in the market as well. So overall cost will also going to go down.
You grew up in India, uh,
Mhm.
and now you're living in Ohio.
Yes.
How do you find the difference? How do you find the cultural
No,
change?
I mean, honestly, I mean, I'm liking it. I'm in United States from the last 8 years. I mean, I've never missed my home. It's so beautiful out here. I mean, honestly, you're just one phone call away from your family. I mean, technology plays a big role as well.
Yeah.
Overall, I'm enjoying it. A lot of challenges, a lot of new things to learn. At the same time, the country is very welcoming as well. Why I chose Ohio is just because I wanted to be a part of a university which was offering me a sponsorship, University of Akron. Um, I had the opportunity to get myself sponsored in the tuition fees, and that's why I took the opportunity. Plus, my uncle is in Cincinnati as well, which is like a couple of hours away from my city. So I just wanted to be closer to the family as well. Yeah, this is the main reason I chose Ohio.
Fabulous. So we're in the middle of your immigration journey, and I recorded a separate video that you're very familiar with about the visa bulletin and how the
Hmm.
visa bulletin, although it's a very dense and complicated document with a lot of jargon, it basically
Hmm.
has such a big impact on people. What does it make you feel that you have to wait a little bit longer than other people do to get your green card?
Well, I think we have applied for the best category, which is EB1A. I think it's the best category if I compare with the others. I'm sorry, I also don't have the understanding of the other categories as well, but I know that EB1 is one of the most renowned as well and the best. Uh, Honestly speaking to you, we have done our part. We are just waiting on the application now, and I don't see that it's going to take a lot of time. It's definitely takes time. It's basically something related to your green card and then the citizenship down the road. So I think it's worth of a wait, for like few years. It's not like 10 years or something like that. So I'm actually okay with it.
As you sit here today, what do you see sort of on the horizon for the next, say, year, 5 years when it comes to supply chain, when it comes to manufacturing? Obviously, there's a lot of discussion about AI and machine learning. What do you see in the future in your profession?
Well, we talk about AI as we talk about automations. My simple concern, and that's why we have founded the company, is the consumer need the product. if there won't be any product on the shelf, AI will not going to do anything. I mean, the manufacturer has to manufacture it. We need to make sure it is coming on time. Yes, you will get the visibility that where the product is. That is important. But if I give you the visibility as a business and don't actually ship the product on time, that the AI has no use in it. But it is definitely helping to bring more visibility into supply chain. It's a really complex profession to be a part of, and that's what the challenges are, and that's what makes it more interesting. So
So
yeah.
much of consumer goods, so many products are shipped on giant shipping containers operated by giant shipping lines, and there's a concern that those are not environmentally friendly. What do you see in the future in terms of green distribution, green manufacturing, or is that something that we're not really thinking about right now?
Well, we are thinking about it, honestly. There's a new manufacturing practices which are in play right now. They are doing whatever they can to make the environment more green. It's a work in progress, but again, it takes a lot of time to get to that level. It's not something which is obviously overnight, and the manufacturing companies understand that, and they are putting in all the efforts, whatever they can. But overall, now they are being more educated in comparison to what they were, years ago.
So you've been approved 3 times as a person of extraordinary ability, twice for an O1 visa and once on your EB1 green card. How'd that make you feel that all this hard work and effort and thought and study, it all paid off?
I mean, absolutely, but it's honestly a team effort. More than a team effort, it's you who has really helped me, with this journey. I still remember that moment when I was actually stuck in India. For me, it was like all done. I got stuck in India. I got rejected with my F1. I was on a supplier visit for my company, and then I called you and spoke with you. The way you explained me in that 30 minutes actually changed everything. It sounds, honestly, it sounds that it's not possible what I'm telling you. You were the one who gave me the vision and said, this is something which we can basically explain to the immigration that what can be done in order to prove that I am actually of an extraordinary talent. And from there on, we started working together, and here we go. I'm here. For me, it's a big dream come true, because for me, I never expected that I'll come back to US and again on O1 and then get my EB1. Not at all. So all thanks to you.
Well, it's a team effort for sure, and and your efforts are what enable me to make the argument. Your dad was recently visiting you in Ohio.
Yeah.
And does he call you Mr. Extraordinary, Mr. Extraordinary?
I mean, every Indian dad, or I would say every Asian dad, uh, just want their kid to achieve everything, but at the same time, get settled in their life as well. And that's what he was telling me. Now you're extraordinary. Just make sure you find the right match now. I mean, jokes apart, he was with me for like 5 months in US. He really enjoyed it. We went to different cities. So yeah, overall, he's very happy with where I am. And once again, all the thanks to you.
Well, that's very kind of you to say, but thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you go, but before we go, what advice would you give to a young person, maybe your younger self back home in India or somewhere around the world, who's looking to come to the US or wants to think about coming to the US? What advice would you give them?
Well, first of all, they have to start looking into the kind of universities or the profession they want to be a part of. For example, if they want to be in IT, accounting, supply chain, logistics, any world or any profession. I mean, US has proved over the past several decades their capabilities, and the kind of universities they can find in US. It's phenomenal. They should basically look into the US as a spot where they can, see themselves getting a green card, citizenship, and getting the best education and live their life in US. So what I did was I actually went to another country, which was a good basically decision. But if I would have been to US, things would have been much different. So which I feel at this point of time. So
if you're looking to learn more about Mandeep and his company via Indigo, so I'll put a link in the description. Mandeep, thank you so much for giving us your time and your insight. I really appreciate it.
thank you very much. Bye.
I hope you enjoyed that interview. We always learn something new from each of these different stories. If you'd like to learn more, I've written a book called Extraordinary Aliens, 12 People Who Pursued Wealth, Fame, and the American Dream. It's available on Amazon, so check it out.